Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I don't know who need to hear this, but let me put this out here. Stop sparing folks. Hello, somebody. Stop sparing folks. Nobody cared when your feelings was hurt. Nobody cared when you was pacing the floor. Nobody cared when you was sliding down the wall. Nobody cared when you was standing over there with a face full of tears. You had to suck it up, buttercup. But then when it come to other folk feelings, here you are. Want to tiptoe around it. Want to avoid the elephant in the room. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to disturb the peace. Stop sparing folk. Ain't nobody spare you when it was your turn. Give it to them real. Give it to them raw. Give it to them uncut and uncensored. This is exactly what it is. This way you had me messed up at. Yeah. I ain't playing with nobody this season, baby.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
What is shaking, my beautiful people of YouTube? How are you doing this wonderful manic Monday? I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. For those that attended church with me on Sunday, I just want to say thank you as always. It's always so fun to be in virtual church with my YouTube family. So for those that haven't attended church and would like to attend church, maybe you don't get out of the house, consider attending church with us on Sunday. Anyways, we have a lot to unpack today. I'm sorry I wasn't live yesterday. As a matter of fact, my entire office was broke down because I was packing up. I was supposed to leave yesterday morning at around 6:30, and I was heading to Alabama to help aid in the search of missing Carlee Russell. I also brought, flyers because we were going to be out there knocking doors and handing out flyers to the people in the community. And when I woke up early Sunday morning, I learned very soon that Carlee Russell had been found. So a lot of stuff has transpired since then. So we're going to get into that here in just a few moments. But before we start, I want to say good morning to all the beautiful people here on YouTube that are here, started by Van Lady, the first to say good morning, to Bullhorn Betty and Chat, followed by Deborah, I Am Teen Summer, Mama Llama in the house, Sonia, Phoenix Rising. Phoenix says, I'm so glad Betty's going live. Yeah, oh, it's nice. It's nice. Nice to have you. Nice to see you again. Cranky Pants, Unicorn, it's nice to see you. Sugar Plum, ZA, what else do we got going on here? M&M Racing. And I know you guys are probably in here really early this morning chatting away because I set it up so early. But we were going later today because I was reviewing some information. Gigi for Life. Oh, Lady O, good morning. Who else? I think I said hi to you, Mama Llama. If I didn't, it's nice to see you. Stacy, Amanda, great to have you here as well. Emma M, Nani, nice to have you. Connie Branch, good morning. Nice to see you. I saw just a little break here. For you, Connie, I did see that you wrote me in Messenger. I haven't had an opportunity to read it yet, so I will. I know that many of you guys have been writing. I've been in my other Facebook account, my personal one, and my mod squad and all that stuff, all my groups are attached to both accounts, so I forget which one I'm in. And then I realize I haven't been over to this other account for a while, so I understand people have been trying to get a hold of me on the Bullhorn Betty Messenger, and I'm sorry I haven't seen anything over there. So I promise you I will get to them today. So I really do apologize. I saw you wrote, Connie. I will respond as soon as I get over there after this live. So thank you. I just wanted to tell you that. Much love. Candy Apple, it's nice to see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, everybody else, good morning. It's great to have you here this morning. A lot of, waves have been made across YouTube about this case, as I stated. Uncle Mike, it's nice to see you. Slim Skittles, Southern Grammy Wolf, it's nice to have you. But I got a treat. So since we didn't go to Alabama, which kind of sucked because you have to schedule hotels and so everything kind of got a little wonky with that whole situation. But we were going to go out there and we were going to try to help. And I'm glad she's found, but there's been some things. I like my audience. I don't deceive my audience. And so we're just going to have to address the things and the elephant in the room, as uncomfortable as it might be and as unpopular as it may be to discuss. We're going to discuss it. But first, last night I had an opportunity to go to the Sound of Freedom movie. And I watched it, and wow. By a show of ones in my chat, how many people have had an opportunity to watch Sounds of Freedom? I know it's like a 20-second kind of delay, but I just want to know how many people have seen the video. The case is so bizarre and mind-boggling. Oh my gosh, Sylvia, you are not lying. And we're going to get into the details, but you're going to have some facts here. And I don't want to say one way or another, but I have my mind pretty much made up, short of new information coming out. So how many people won? So, okay, so we do have some people in the chat. Okay, Emmy hasn't. I recommend you do. And we're going to, I have to, after this live is over, I'll put the link in for those that can't afford a ticket. They're giving away free tickets for it. So I'll make sure I put the free ticket link, or to sign up at least for the free ticket link in the description. It's not there now, but by the time this live is over, I will put it in there. Okay, so I had a chance to see it. Let's go over here. Let's see what I have to say.
Well, hello, TikTok. So Bullhorn Betty, I am out in front of the AMC movie theater here in Manatee County, and I just watched The Sounds of Freedom here at this movie theater. I have to tell you, this story gave me goosebumps. It was hard to watch in a lot of respects, you know, with my past and background, just seeing this, even though I didn't have a story like this, just the violation of it, and seeing these children, really realizing that 2 million children worldwide go missing, that this is a lucrative business. And I think the most alarming aspect and the most alarming statistic is this trade has gone up 5,000% year over year. So this is becoming a major issue here,
the last 10
not
years.
just in the United States, but around the world. So we're just going to give kudos to the filmmakers, Angel Studios, for the wonderful production that they did. I think it was the messaging at the end that really solidified it. You know, I always talk about everybody's voice. Everybody has a voice on my social media platforms. And this is one person that stood up and decided to do something because it was the right thing to do. And just the messaging of this story, the heroes are the children. And it just moved me. And I hope each and every one of you get your tickets. There's a way to get tickets for free. Go to Angel Studios and you can sign up for your free tickets. They're also paying it forward. There's a lot of ways to get the pay it forward tickets. So I hope everybody gets the opportunity to see Sounds of Freedom. It was definitely a great movie. God bless. Oh, and one other thing. This is the person that I was with.
Hi, everyone. Watch The Sound of Freedom. It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Amazing.
Yep.
So we had a lot of, it was very emotional. I looked over, and I have to be honest with you, it moved me. There were certain parts of it that, I teared up. I remember looking over at Mom, and you could see she teared up. And so I think this really hit home what happens. And it also, a lot of these kids that are here in America that are in this trade, honestly, aren't from here. There are a lot that are, but these kids are being plucked over in Guatemala, other places. I mean, it literally is a worldwide network. And they're saying that the United States is the #1 consumer of that worldwide network. That, my friend, is disgusting. It's disgusting. What in our country are we doing to our people that would make them be intrigued, or, it's foul. It's foul. I don't know what else to say. It's foul. If you have not had an opportunity, it is a very, very moving production. It goes right to the heart of everything that we fight against each and every day. This is the most disgusting of our society across this country and across this world. It's the most depraved of this country and across this world. And I'm glad that somebody is bringing this to the forefront, because honestly, our numbers here in the United States are wrong. They're wrong. We have a bigger problem and a bigger crisis than we ever even know about. And you add kids coming from other countries that our country doesn't even know exists. And you've got a real big problem here. a real big problem and a very sick, disgusting problem. And I think that movie, and again, I think everybody should be watching that, and I hope you do. I hope you have an opportunity. Give yourself an opportunity to get educated. Give yourself an opportunity to get educated. So I enjoyed it. I had popcorn and I had soda and I had an enjoyable time. I had some tears. At the end, I got to tell you, it's very, very seldom I go in and watch a movie at a movie theater. When the movie is done, people clap. It's very, very rare that I go and watch any type of box office hit, with Tom Cruise. And by the time they're done, they're like, oh yeah, man. You don't get that at a Tom Cruise video. I'm telling you, the movie theater heard when this movie ended. The entire movie theater heard when this movie ended. You need to go watch it. So I hope you do. I hope you do. Has anyone seen the conspiracy theories surrounding this? There is a story, people coming across a group of children, a UFO. You know what? To be honest with you, who was it? I think it was somebody in my mod squad. We were in there talking about theories, and that's what they said. They said, pretty soon somebody's going to come up with a UFO theory. I'm not lying. That's what they said. But getting to back to the case, I wanted to go through just a few things with you guys about this case. So when I came out, I made a plea to all of social media, the entire platform, to please pick up this case, because the nature of this case, this is what we were presented with when we heard the case, that a woman was driving down the road and saw a young toddler on the side of the road, stopped to check on that child, to make sure that child was okay, called law enforcement, and then called her family member, and she vanished. Her and the kid vanished. No sight of them again. This was alarming, because you're talking about being a good Samaritan. You're talking about a little child, and you're talking about a good Samaritan and a little child literally being plucked off the face of the earth on the side of a busy interstate. And even at that time, even at that time, we didn't know that the interstate was as busy as it is. I learned after the story broke, how busy, in fact, that interstate is. We saw a lot of stuff. It was unclear. Like I believe we were hitting on all the right things. Like I was talking about the flashing lights as it was approaching in the camera. We just didn't know what that meant. I thought she may have found the child down the road, called them, and then got to the sign as the what do they call it? The marker, why can't I? Sometimes things just don't pop in my head when they need to. But just as a large marker that was easily identified by law enforcement. That's what I was thinking. It seemed practical that you'd move the car up to the most lit area. And it seemed like she moved it up fairly to a lit area. So it seemed to us, we didn't know what all that meant, because we were believing, because we know for a fact law enforcement came out as a statement of fact that she called them to report this child. So we know that happened. And so we were basing all this off of her telling that story and that situation actually happening. So this was a very, very, very scary situation for many of us. To think that a child could be on the side of the road, possibly as bait. That's what I was thinking. If that story was true, what purpose would this child be? We talked about all the theories that would come across why a child would be out there and where she might be. It wasn't until the ending, like kind of reeling down, not quite at the 48 hours, but kind of reeling down, when I finally found the social medias for Carlee, that I started seeing her literally like 10 or 12 minutes before talking about how she wants a family. There were some Twitter tweets that were posted, and it really started I started realizing that there was some emotional stuff going on here with her and her life. And so I posted on TikTok this, and I misspoke at the end a little bit because I said reported a child missing, but I was thinking that because the child would have had to been missing somewhere, I think, or it was just a misspeak. But I wanted you guys to hear this. This is kind of where this started turning for me. And it literally was just a few hours before she returned home when I started realizing that there's more to the story than this abduction. And here is that, because I want you guys, if you guys haven't been over to my TikTok, you should go over to my TikTok and sign up. I do post a lot of stuff on there that I don't post
Oh
on
my
here.
gosh, guys. Did you guys see this? This came from Carlee on July 12th, the day before she disappeared. Read it. People are such creeps. Like this man stared at me while sitting in his car for like 10 minutes.
That was one. Hold on, that wasn't the one. This is the one. Sorry. And that was another one the day before.
Hey guys,
This was the one
Bullhorn
that
Betty. So this is going to add to the level of confusion. This post here is making headways all over social media right now. People are questioning the date and time because this shows that this tweet was done after she was reported missing. Or does it? According to the comments here, and it does make sense, and I have confirmed this to be true, that the tweet would have shown whatever time zone you were in. So it appears that this may have come after or come before, right before she called 911 reporting a child on the side of the road and then ultimately disappearing and has not been seen or heard from her family since. However, this also gives another layer here because don't you think it's odd she's talking about a family right before she reports a child missing? Not that it is any connection to it, but I think it may be a clue.
And it was. Sorry.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty.
Right.
So
there we go. But it was a clue. She was saying, yeah, I want a family now. And it has tears coming down. Yeah, I want a family now. And this was literally like 11 minutes before she reported seeing a boy, a toddler on the side of a busy interstate. So it was at this point when I found this that my mind started changing a little bit as to what really happened that took place here. And since then, and it was probably about, this was done, and then I think this was, I don't even know what time I submitted this. It doesn't give me a time on here, but this was done a couple hours before she showed up at her house. So I posted this, and then she showed up at her house so I didn't know that, you know, this was like that wasn't the purpose of me reporting that. I just happened to find it very odd. And then she shows up, you know, so it was a little crazy there. But now we're starting to talk about hoax, and everybody on social media is either like screaming at people saying, wait a minute, it's not a hoax. You know, this really happened. She's in shock. We don't know that. And they're telling us that we're misinforming the public, but they themselves are also misinforming the public because they have no information. I think I have more facts on my side to support the fact that this story isn't what it seems. There are a few reasons that I'm stating that, and we're going to go over a few more, but I want you to watch my unpopular viewpoint on TikTok, and then we'll get to the actual factual information that you have that I will show you why I came to the conclusion that I came to. And actually, this kind of gives you an update on why I came to the conclusion that I came to.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. So many of you know that social media has been blowing up ever since Carlee Russell has been found. We have many creators coming out and saying, everybody, please just give her a minute. Let's find out what happened. There are some literally condemning people for stating that they believe this may be a hoax. And my point is everybody needs to kind of calm down a little bit. But I do want to tell all those people that are wagging their finger at the people that think this is a hoax and telling them they shouldn't think that way, and shame on them for doing so. But let's look at the facts of the case. I don't need a law enforcement officer to tell me what to think. We have a lady that stopped on the side of the road, said there was a kid there. There is no kid. The family member on there knew that they were talking to her because they know what Carlee's voice is and heard her scream. We know that law enforcement, since she has been found, has made no public statement looking or an outcry for a child, has made no public statement for abductors that have taken her, kidnapped her, held her captive, armed her for 2 days. She almost died. And we hear nothing from law enforcement trying to help find the animals that did this to her. And then other people are wagging their finger at these very people and telling them, shame on you for thinking of it. I'm sorry. I find that very offensive to me. In this world, had anybody else done this, it would have been a totally different story. Put Bullhorn Betty in the situation. Had I done this, do you think people would be out here saying, oh, let's calm down. Let's find out what happened? No, they would be condemning me and damning me to hell for doing something like this. And granted, I'm not asking people to do that to Carlee. I believe something truly happened to her, but I don't think it's an abduction. I think she lied. I don't know whether this was a mental health break or whether or not she has emotional issues and needed attention. Whatever the reason is, I'm sorry, me personally, I don't believe it was an abduction. I don't believe a child was on the road. And I believe law enforcement is speaking very clearly and very loudly in their silence. So before you start pointing your finger and being nasty to people for thinking this could be a hoax, look at their perspective and be kind to them as well. God bless you.
Gosh, words of wisdom. But in all fairness, those are really the nuts and bolts of why this really smells like like a hoax. Or this is what I kind of foresee happening. I could be totally off base here. I really could be. We're going to get to a comment here, a video portion segment of it. And it's going to kind of solidify my position. But what I think happened here is, whatever reason, I think she didn't want to go home, or something happened. In all fairness, I heard, me personally, I couldn't corroborate it, so I'm going to flag it as rumor, but it could be true. I heard she was drinking earlier that night. When she went and got food, I heard that she was drinking. She was drinking alcohol. So I don't know if other things may have transpired, or even if that's even true. But it may have, impaired some judgment, if it is true. So I think she may have just wanted to get away. Maybe she had a bad day at work. Maybe she just didn't want to go home. Maybe she didn't want to deal with the boyfriend. Maybe she just wanted a break, and she didn't expect it to get so big. She expected people to maybe look for her or whatever, but her being an adult, maybe she didn't think it was going to blow up and become such a national news segment. And when she realized that it was getting serious, she panicked, and may have had to come up. Now, again, this is just my opinion of what I truly believe that happened. But, well, here's the facts. This is kind of what we have, Robin. And maybe they're not enough facts for you to make a determination. No, it's just for me. We definitely know she definitely made the 911 call about the toddler. Okay, so it was her voice. She was with her car. We know that her sister-in-law was on the phone with her and heard her scream. We have the video of her pulling up to that sign with her flashers already on. And when she pulled up to that, from the time she pulled up to that sign to the time she got out, you're talking about a minute and 20 seconds. And then 3 minutes later, law enforcement are right behind her. So there was no possibility of somebody being in front of her or behind her. So we know she was with her phone and her car and made that 911 call. And we know by the video that was released of the traffic camera, nobody else was with her. There was nobody. There was one image and one image only. There was only one shadow and one shadow only. So those are factual that you can't dispute. And then we have her returning home on foot, which it sounds, if she had this, I mean, hear me out. I had a tragic situation that happened in my life, okay, in my 20s. And I didn't walk home. I ran to the nearest law enforcement officer or the nearest payphone to call 911. Now, granted, this day and age, there's not payphones out there like there was when I was 20. But not to flag down any passerby, not to scream bloody murder, not to say, oh my God, I have been kidnapped. I was trapped. I need help. I need somebody to come get me right now. I just broke free. My life was in danger. None of that. She just walks home and knocks on the front door. Those are facts that are told to us by law enforcement. So those are the facts. Now we put those facts together. And we say, okay, so we know there was no boy. And law enforcement has even come out and said that they don't believe a boy was there. So now we have no child. She definitely called 911. She definitely called her family. She screamed. There was a single person at her passenger side door. We know there was stuff scattered on the ground. Her wig on the ground. Almost like a signs of a struggle. I mean, an elaborate production there at her car. She comes home and law enforcement is not screaming from the rooftops to help find this little boy that she was abducted with. And they're not screaming from the rooftops saying, hey, there is a person out there snatching women up and holding them hostage against their will in a hotel room. So we've been around the block a time or two here where we've watched enough breaking cases to know the press conference of something like this that has this much news associated with it. A press conference would be going on. A press conference would have been going on 2 hours after she was found. They would be coming and saying, oh my gosh, this was a great day. Guys, you social media, you guys are amazing. You saved this woman's life. You know, mainstream media, thank you for putting her picture out there and taking this national. This was a joint effort. We were able to save this woman's life from this extreme so-and-so. Here's the description of the people we need to be looking for in connection with this. If you have any information, please call law enforcement immediately. Go and look at your cameras. Go look at pull your still photos, pull your video, right? That would be what we would be hearing right now. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that is not what we would be hearing right now from law enforcement. This is not our first rodeo, folks. Not our first rodeo. Now we have crickets from law enforcement. Here's what we're hearing from law enforcement. Let me find it. I know I have it. Here it is. No press conference. This is as much as we're going to get from law enforcement right now. This does not seem extreme or urgent to me.
More questions than answers.
We're sure that she called 911 from the interstate, and we're sure that a few minutes later, when the police arrived, she was not there, and there wasn't a toddler there either.
While one witness says they saw a gray car pulled in front of Russell's vehicle and a man standing outside of her car, police haven't announced any leads.
You know, there's still forensic stuff that hasn't come back yet. There's just things that we want to have to make sure that we understand again exactly what took place, and then again during that 48, 49 hours.
Yeah, and while police are continuing to investigate Russell's disappearance, they are not currently digging into one of the most confounding aspects of this case: the lost toddler that Russell reported to 911.
And there you have it. So they're waiting for forensics to come back. But again, if there was somebody holding her against her will, they clearly have nobody under arrest. And you cannot tell me they would not have that person's description to the public to be on the lookout for this man that abducted this woman and held her captive for 2 days. This unknown assailant, according to her boyfriend. So, you know, here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for this young woman. I really do. You know, I'd like to know why she did it. But at this point, I don't believe her story. Do I think she did this for attention? I don't think she did it for publicity attention. You know, if she did do this for attention, I think she was trying to get attention of a significant other, or maybe attention from her family that she feels she's not getting. I don't really believe the whole mental breakdown aspect of this. And the only reason why I'm not, because there was too many strategic actions. There was too much in my mind planning for a mental break, such as dragging the wig, putting the wig out there, making it look like there was a struggle. That was very strategic in my mind. And so since it was a strategic act to set the scene, so to speak, it removes the mental break out of my mind, because a mental break, you're not acting in a strategic situation. You're losing your stuff. You're not walking around a car and pulling stuff out of your car on your passenger side. So that's why. Now, could it have been, you know, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, so it's possible she could have. I'm just saying, from where I'm sitting in my knowledge, it just seemed like there was a lot of strategic action from her that would not bode with the whole breakdown scenario. But again, I'm not her, but I do pride myself of not misleading my audience. And I just, you know, as much as I hope she didn't do this, and I hope she doesn't have a lot of, you know, horrible repercussions from this. I just, for me and everything that I understand about this case, it just doesn't, and not only just this case, understand about police behavior, right? It's not really necessarily about the case or the victim. When we're looking at it from this angle, we know the behaviors of law enforcement in a situation like this, and the behaviors from a law enforcement are not behaving as if it's a situation that has been told to us, at least by the boyfriend, as he made his statement to the public. So people were asking the statement. I don't have, well, I kind of do have the statement, but it's on my TikTok, because I don't have it up. So let me pull the TikTok back up. And we'll watch it from the TikTok, and I read it, so that'll be the, I think it's this one. So, hey guys, this is making headways right now on the streets of social media. I don't know what my audience believes here, because there's a lot of mixed information going on in absence of actual facts coming from law enforcement. And this is believed to be the boyfriend here, Carlee Russell. And as he is trying to explain to people, he says, I don't even know how to start off this post, but to only say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for saving my girlfriend's life. Also, thank you to everyone who shared a picture, came out to Hoover, met to help us with the search parties, and who went and proceeded to tell others about Carlee and bring awareness to her story. I have been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing on Thursday night. I know she would have done the same for me, so I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again. I was straight tunnel vision even when I got out on social media on my downtime and see some of the false allegations and assumptions about me having something to do with her abduction would have have me discouraged at times, but didn't give up. I kept my faith. I just want to say thank you to all my family, friends, former teammates, church members who called and texted me to let me know that they are praying for me. You guys don't know how much it meant for me. All I ask from everyone right now is to be respectful of Carlee's situation. She was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours. So until she physically and mentally stable again, she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper at this very moment. I also want to thank the people on social media who has been understanding and respectful about the situation. Before I go any further, you heard that she was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours. Now, is the police behavior what we know of true crime? Because this is stuff that we live and breathe day in and day out. I'm going to ask everybody in my audience, is the behavior of law enforcement that of somebody that was fighting for her life for 48 hours? That is all I'm going to ask each and every one of you. I can't make that decision for you. I'm giving you the information here, but the one part that I'm going to say is that is law enforcement's behavior indicative of a woman fighting for her life by an unknown abductor that plucks single women off the side of interstates? I'll wait. Yeah. Because I mean, if we want to believe her statement, that's fine. I'm not trying to victim shame or anything like that, but there's definitely something going on here. And in a situation like this, I'm looking at the behaviors of law enforcement. We talk about that all the time because we look at what law enforcement says in their statements and pick them apart and read between the lines all the time. I mean, this right here is screaming volumes in law enforcement's silence. You've got a person that was plucked off the side of a road, doing nothing wrong, and just plucked off the side of the road and was fighting for her life for 48 hours and not one press conference, not one. I believe police never believed this story. That's a good point. That is a good point. I definitely don't take the statement fighting for her life as meant in a literal way, maybe figuratively, but definitely not literally. Oh, good perspective as well. Good perspective as well. Also notice her reporting a child on the road doesn't harm or implicate anyone. Interesting. And then it would go again to the strategy. So, yeah, interesting. What does Connie say? Connie says, for her life for 48 hours, she would not have been taken to the hospital and released within a couple hours. They would have kept her there for at least overnight for observation, many of us know. Yeah, and she may have. I don't know when she was actually released from the hospital. I don't have that. She could have very well been there overnight for all we know. I don't have information one way or another. I just know that she was released from the hospital, but I don't know what the timing of that release was. But there's just a lot of things. I would have to think it would be the duty of law enforcement personally if they had somebody that abducted this lady and held her against her will, and she was fighting for her life, whether actually or figuratively. I still feel that they would either have somebody arrested in connection with this, or they would have had to put out a description of this male that they're trying to apprehend in connection with this brutal attack on her. It would be one or the other, because if she was on the side of the interstate and somebody abducted her, she wouldn't know who that abductor was, because what are the chances of somebody that is intentionally trying to abduct her, know that she was going to put her flashers on and pull over a car right there on a busy interstate at 9:30 at night. I mean, what are the odds of somebody knowing her doing that? You see what I'm saying? Like it when you put this stuff together, that's why I'm offended when people say that this is not a hoax, or not a lie of some sort. It's because it's offensive to me, because you're insulting my intelligence here, right? You're insulting my intelligence. The person would be apprehended and in jail, and again, a press conference, or the person would be at large, and again, a press conference. No matter how you look at it, this would get a press conference, unless they don't want to bring any other negative light to this young woman's life, because they realize it was a lie, that she fabricated information, and now they just don't want her to have to go through any more than she needs to go through, as far as embarrassment and public shame. That's kind of what the behavior of law enforcement right now, and there was a significant and heavy financial cost for the search. I mean, you just heard the chief police talking about forensics. That's going to cost thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for that community to run that. So I have a funny feeling she is going to be held accountable for this, and they are going to be. I feel at some point she's going to be held accountable for this, short of her having a mental breakdown, right? If this was intentional and they can prove that this was intentional to get attention, I have a funny feeling that she will be facing heavy consequences from this. If they deem this as her, having a mental break, and the state is just unwilling to prosecute this, then maybe that's the case. But short of them coming out and telling me that there is truly somebody at large, and then if they do that at this point, I will be screaming why did it take law enforcement so long to come out, knowing this lunatic was running the streets of their community, and they kept it quiet? Can you imagine the backlash law enforcement would get if that was the case? So I really think they're backing off and not real and giving vague statements, because I don't think this young lady expected it to get the national attention it did. I figured they just thought she was lost. She'd come home, no big deal, right? A runaway kid. She's an adult. So, it's in everybody's mind. If you're an adult and you disappear, nobody does a damn thing. Well, we just showed the world we do a damn thing when we believe somebody has been abducted and did not freely walk on their own. We kick and scream, and we move mountains to find them. We moved mountains to find them, and we moved mountains to find her. And it's a damn shame that we're here, talking about it possibly being a hoax, because so many people came together. And I hope if it was a hoax or a mental break, and I really do hope she thanks the people that came out to help her. And I hope she apologizes to the public for her behavior, if it truly is true. I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to not understand. Everybody goes through some. She's 25 years old. She might just, at 25, I remember when I turned 25 years old, I remember sitting in my living room drinking. I was crying. I was eating a box of chocolates. I was drinking the champagne, because I like Asti Spumante, the Rossi Asti Spumante. So it's like champagne, what people use. It's sweet champagne. And so I was drinking that out of the bottle, listening to sappy, sorry music, crying my eyes out when I turned 21, because it was the first time that I realized I was an adult, that I'm really an adult, that it was scary for me, and I cried over it. So maybe she's going through something like that in her life. But either way, she should have came forward a lot sooner. She should have, when she realized that this was picking up a life of its own, she should have came forward a lot sooner. That's my thought. So I don't know what you guys think about it. I really don't. Hold on just a second. I wanted to check a few things. And it's not going to be a long live today, guys. I'm extremely tired. I've been working nonstop for days, and we got more to talk about today. New docs released from Bryan Kohberger, guys. If you guys are following the Bryan Kohberger case, this is the Idaho 4 are Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Gonzalez that were brutally murdered on November 13th on the outskirts of the University of Idaho in off-campus housing in the early morning hours of November 13th between 4 a.m. and 4:20 in the morning. On December 30th, Bryan Kohberger was arrested in connection with those murders, and since then he's been extradited from Pennsylvania back to Idaho, where we follow Bryan Kohberger's case. And there was a lot of stuff that was released last week related to the state's supplemental discovery responses, and we went over that. But since then, this morning, we have defendant's 5th supplemental request, 6th supplemental request, stipulated motion to file, order to file, stipulated motion to file, order to file, order to seal, and then order to seal Meta and T-Mobile. I'm not sure why this wasn't coming up, because I heard a lot of people already talking about this, and I've been monitoring this for a few days. But for whatever reason, it was not pulling up on my end. Either way, I will be going live. I was going to go do this now, but I'm going to be going live. I want to print this stuff off and review it first. And then I'll be going live later this afternoon, probably around 1 or 2 this afternoon, to break all this down. And we should have some more information coming in by then as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. God bless each and every one of you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, be safe and kind to one another. And lastly, guys, don't forget to go over, if you like short bursts of information about these cases, don't forget to subscribe to my TikTok page, where I'm doing a lot more shorts and doing the lives here on YouTube. So I hope you guys go over there. Oh, what does it say? Sherri Papini Hoax. Remember that one? Let's just see. I know I do not remember that one. Papini. Let's see what this one says. Oh, interesting. Mad Shatter. Interesting. Oops. So Sherri is an American woman known for disappearing on November 2nd, 2016, reported while jogging a mile from her home in Reddington, California. Oh, I think I do remember this. Papini, yeah, I think I got it right. Papini was 34 years old at the time. She disappeared 3 weeks later on Thanksgiving, November 24th, having been reported freed by her captor at 4:30 that morning, still wearing restraints on this County Road 17 near Interstate 5 in Yolo County, about 150 miles from south from where she disappeared. The case garnered major media attention, with national law enforcement experts reporting doubts or otherwise baffled as to the unlikely details of inconsistencies of the reported abduction. The case garnered major media attention with on March 3rd, 2022, Papini was arrested and charged with making a false statement to federal law enforcement officers and for mail fraud. According to the Department of Justice, Papini fabricated the story of her abduction. She had reportedly been staying with a former boyfriend. And that's what I kind of feel happened here. I think she snuck off to be with a man. That's really what I believe happened. But again, I don't know. I wasn't there. That's just my take on things. I wanted to make sure you guys had all the facts to this case, first and foremost. And you guys can make your own opinion and speculation. And don't allow people to shake their finger at you. You get to own your thoughts. See, nobody else owns those for you. And I own my thoughts. And I believe that this was a lie. And I would like to know why. And when we do find out why, I hope that she comes to the public and thanks the people that searched for her, because there was hundreds of people that put their lives in danger searching for her. The heat, the elements, Never mind, poisonous snakes and other things that can cause injury to a human being. And she put all those people's lives in danger. And nobody's talking about that. Oh, we just need, I'm sorry that this girl is going through it, but let's quit, her family and law enforcement needs to quit toying with the public. You need to own it and state it. And whoever needs to apologize, just come to the public and apologize and just be done with the situation. And let's put this to bed. We'll be monitoring this, but I'm not going to cover this much more because I just want things to die down for this young lady. I don't like knowing that she's already going to have repercussions from this for a really long time. And I don't want to contribute to those repercussions. She made a mistake. And I really wish people would just understand it's going to be hard for her to honestly say she made this mistake. It's going to be embarrassing for her. She's got a long life ahead of her. She was doing great work. So guys, I think the best thing at this point is just let the story die. If you really want to help this family and you care about the girl, okay, you care about Carlee, and this is for everybody, even the ones wants to shame the people that are saying it's a hoax. Everybody, if everybody quits just talking about it, we can just move on from it. If you truly want to help this girl and care about her, it's time to just stop talking about it, because we all know what really happened here. For those that don't and want to browbeat everybody else, go do it. You're not helping her and you're not helping anything else. I just think it needs to die down, my personal opinion on it. And while I'll be monitoring this, I'm not going to be covering it. So thank you all that came out here and really fought for her. You guys are what is right with social media and mainstream media. The coordination that came with this from national news conglomerates with social media, it was really good. We all came out for this woman, and we're very, very thankful she came home. It could have went the other way. And that's why it's so important that we don't cry wolf. And the people that do cry wolf, we make it so uncomfortable that it will prevent people from doing it in the future. Just my opinion and my 2 cents. God bless you. You guys be safe. We'll see you later this afternoon. What do I want to do? I think we'll go out. I like this guy.
Here are 9 things that you should understand about life. Number 1, even if you trust someone, keep some things to yourself. The less people you have in your business, the less drama you have in your life. Number 2, if you want to build something worthwhile, be ready for criticism, but accept both compliments and criticism, because it takes both the sun and rain to grow a flower. Number 3, your mental health is way more important than your career ever will be. If taking care of your mental health means letting someone down, then let someone down. Number 4, you become an unstoppable force when you realize you can do it alone. So don't be afraid to walk alone, and don't be afraid to like it. Number 5, be okay with people not liking you. Most don't even like themselves. Remember, people don't have to like you, and you don't have to care. Number 6, not everything will go according to plan. Always be ready to adapt. Sometimes unexpected events can be a life blessing. Number 7, you can always choose to be happy, no matter what happens in your life. Being sad is never an option. The key to being happy is to know that you have control over what you accept and what you let go of. Number 8, don't waste your time stressing about things you can't control. One of the happiest moments in life is when you find the courage to let go of what you cannot change. And number 9, choose a direction and make sure you surround yourself with the right people who have the strength you lack. With the right vibes and the right people, it's easy to create something magical. And remember, you can't do epic shit with basic people.